I got a lot of
What?
messes back here.
What
There's
did
a
you
lot
just
of
say?
There's a lot of messes backstage in the Noah office.
Oh my goodness.
We know because last week you had or 2 weeks in a row, you had that tower of cans just sitting
And
off
it
to
is
the
gone.
side.
It is gone. It was my energy drink tower during finals week. I just kept adding to
15
it.
of them.
Yeah, that was over like 3 days.
When those Alani drinks were at their real big hype, I had students like collecting the cans in their lockers. Like they would like open up a
Ew.
locker and like all these Alani cans would
waterfall?
fall out. Yes.
Oh.
I couldn't do it. Nope.
No, I can do some of them.
I don't
This
even
one's good.
like throwing
I like
my
this one.
cans away. Like if I'm drinking this can, I will take it downstairs and throw it away in the downstairs trash. Like the only thing I'll throw in my trash can upstairs in my office is like water bottles. Because I don't like the trash sitting around.
This is a little off topic, but not really. Nothing quenches my thirst like a sweet tea. Nothing compares.
That's
I
totally
just-
Southern person in you.
I just love it so
Man,
much.
sweet tea's so good.
And today, my administrator was like, "Hey, do you know where we keep the secret staff of sweet tea in the office?" I was like, "No," and she told me. And there's cups, and there's straws, and there's lids, and I'm like, "This is life changing."
Okay, but
I
you
love
just said
sweet
it
tea.
on a podcast
No,
that your
I didn't
students
say-
listen to.
No, I didn't say where it was at.
No, there
I
just
said
is
that
one.
there is one.
Yeah, but now you're letting people know.
No, they will never know because I had no idea. It was kind of like I didn't even know this place existed. So and I've worked there
Wow.
for 10 years.
I like lemonade better. I think lemonade quenches my thirst a little
Yes,
better.
You know
I
what?
love lemonade.
But if I
Yes,
feel
like
lemonade
water.
But if I
is
need to feel healthy and not drink Coke or energy drinks,
from a
I'll drink
desert.
sweet tea. If I drink
See, but
sweet
I don't-
tea, I'll feel better.
I'm really
Do
weird.
you like
I don't
that
even like
Forrest Frank
cold
song?
water.
Jesus making lemonade. Lemonade.
Never heard of it.
You have never heard of this song?
I don't think so. I've never listened to it intentionally.
I'm going to send it to you, and you have to listen to it tonight before you go to bed.
I'm done with finals. I'm done with school for the year, so I have energy. I have time.
For the year or for the semester?
For the semester, probably.
Forever. Forever.
You going to be a dropout?
I love Noah's new sign, by the way. We need to talk about the new sign. Even though
Cool.
I'm hidden behind it. I really
Yeah,
like the sign.
I can only see RJ if I sit over here. If I go back over here, he's hidden behind the H. He's like right there. So it's like Mike Wazowski. I see everyone, including myself, but RJ.
Now I kind of want one too, though. So you're gonna have to tell me where you got it from. So
You can ask my father,
I will.
the originator.
Well, welcome back to another episode of the Carousel of Conversations. We have Juliette back with us. She's not even a guest at this point anymore. She's been on us with us so much. So it's kind of like her, Brian, and Carissa, the three that have been on the most of the podcast. So thanks for coming back. But tonight we are going to be talking about something that I feel like is really, really relevant to this week, just in general, when it comes to gas prices going way up. Like for our car, like politics aside, our car was like $40 to fill up with gas, and it's typically like 28. So it's just
It cost
it's
me
gone up.
$50.
it cost me
$50
$80
for my RAV4,
It
and I'm
cost me
like,
$80
what is this?
to fill up my truck.
Oh,
my
oh,
gosh.
it's
Oh.
terrible.
Like, I don't want to
And-
go anywhere now.
Yeah,
I wanna pay for
exactly.
I'm not gonna lie, guys. RJ filled up my car twice now. I have no idea what gas is like, but he said it was really expensive.
I have to think about every mile. I'm like, how much is this mile costing me?
I know.
It's
I
just
know.
best not to think of that.
Yeah.
Oh.
I just kind of like.
Can you imagine, like, my dad driving to Charlotte from Gastonia every day?
It's like a 40-minute drive, and he's got a truck. So it's just,
Yeah.
he doesn't always drive his truck,
No,
but it's expensive.
I
when he
would-
does
I
it.
would maybe
I wouldn't
rotate-
either.
Mhm.
yeah.
I've got
I
no
would
choice.
rotate vehicles so I wouldn't have to pay as much gas.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I'm
But-
sure that's nice,
but then you
guys.
would, and all of it would happen at the same time, and it would be terrible.
know. I am terrible about like waiting till the last minute to fill up anyways. Like I will
It's
let it get to
horrible.
like 20 miles till empty and I'm like, I guess I should
No,
probably put some gas in it.
One time I got in the car and it had 8 miles in it until empty.
That's
8
the thing.
miles. till
My
empty.
dad went -1 miles one time.
I live in
Stuff
the middle of
drive-
nowhere, so that would not be good at all.
It's like every time I get in her car, if it's even close to 100 miles until empty, I'm like, all right, I'm filling it back up. Like, I just can't stand it. If it even comes close to that 100 miles till empty, I'm filling the car up. That's who I am. So I'm pretty bad about that. Is just like, but her car is like a hybrid car. Her car, I
Mhm.
say, it's our car, but it does really good gas.
It's literally the
mileage,
only
so-
car that we have.
Yeah, it has really good gas mileage. So like, I'll fill it up and it'll go for 450 miles until it goes empty.
Nice.
So
Yeah,
filling
mine's
it up
like
at 100.
just at 400, so
Mine's
Yeah.
300
But
because
still.
I get 15 miles to the gallon.
Yeah, that's true.
It costs me
I would-
$4 one way to get to work.
I would cry.
It's real bad, guys. I like to think of it as miles per gallon, not miles per gallon.
And with that, and then also with Spirit Airlines closing down this week.
Did you hear what the
and-
internet wants to do about that?
Yes,
This
I
guy
have
on the
heard
internet's
about
trying
it.
to buy out Spirit Airlines using
by
like,
having every
crowdfunding.
people,
Yeah, by
crowdfunding
random-
investment,
everybody just buying into it.
and
they
then they
never
would get
flew
a
to where
profit
my
share.
airport is, so we never got to experience
Oh,
Spirit.
really?
Mhm.
Yeah.
See, here's the
I do
thing.
find it interesting because I know like of a family that lives here in the area. They're pass holders and they try to go to Disney World. You know, I feel like a couple times a month, just like on a weekend or whatever. And they would always fly Spirit because it's like I got the cheapest
Mhm.
flights out of it. And I'm like, well, that's
Mhm.
probably
They
why
would
they
get,
went
like,
bankrupt.
$80 flights to go there from
Dang.
here, like round trip. It was
But you have
crazy.
to also pay for like all your checked luggage. You have to
But
pay
they
Yeah,
wouldn't
for...
do
don't you
that
have to
because
pay
they
for,
just
like, your
go for.
seat?
They would just
And
go
your
for
checked
weekend.
bag and your carry-on bag and your overhead bin bag. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
You have to pay for the
Eh,
coat
you might as
that
well
they
just
give
pay a
you.
regular plane ticket at that point.
Mhm.
yeah, so that's pretty much what it would amount to is like, why would you pay for all the add-ons when it just ends up being the same price as the regular one? Which is, I think,
Yeah.
why they failed. But like, so many people wouldn't do the add-ons and they would just take
Mhm.
their seat in one carry-on, and it would be cheaper
Yeah,
for
that's
them
true.
than going, and they would just do a weekend trip. So they would do a weekend trip, go to Disney World and spend like $100, jump on a plane and do a round trip $100 and get to go for 2 or 3 days at Disney World. So it made sense. And so it got me thinking, like, I wonder how many people fly versus drive, and why part of the reason why we had to bring Juliette on is because we could do both. We could fly or we could drive, and we're close enough to do both pretty easily. We're about 8-9 hours away. Juliette lives on the other side of the world, so
I do. Well, the other side of the country.
yeah.
That might as well be
I
the
know.
world.
I
Let's
guess
be
it
a little
feels like
less
the other side of the
dramatic.
world.
Lives on the other side of Disney World. Huh?
I live on the West Coast.
Yeah.
She lives closer to that other Disney park.
You mean the
So the
small
other day
one?
I looked
The
into
small
taking a plane ride out to where Juliette is at in the West, and it was about $800 for just me to go. And so that's ridiculously expensive. So when it comes to going to Disney World, even the cheaper flights to go to Disney World, it's just I don't want to pay that, and I know that that's wear and tear on my car, but I'm 8 to 9-ish hours away from Disney World, so I'd rather just drive it because it's way cheaper.
Okay, but have you ever rented a car and then driven so you're not putting the miles on your own car?
No, because then it's adding extra
thought about
cost,
it.
and I'm too cheap
True.
to do that too.
Well, it's probably cheaper than a plane ticket for all three of
Oh,
you.
for sure. Yeah. Definitely. And we've used our car far too much to get to and from. But like, it's kind of funny too. If I get in a wreck with my own car, I feel more comfortable with that than if I do like a
Yeah.
rental or something
Yeah.
because it's my own vehicle. And
hmm
so, but anyway, I just thought with that being the case and talking about when it comes to flying versus driving, I thought that that's an interesting topic to talk about tonight with the podcast episode. And I was even talking to Chris about that earlier this week because she's going for a day. And I was like, oh, yeah, just go to Port Orleans and get some beignets. And thinking to myself, oh, it's not as easy as it seems because she flies to get out there,
Yeah.
and so there's
Yeah.
a difference there
There's a way
versus
to
just
do it,
jumping in the
but it's
car.
just
Oh yeah, for
Mhm.
sure. And so I wanted to talk
just
about
like
the
the
pros and the
roundabout
cons.
backwards way.
Yeah.
Exactly. So I just wanted to talk about the pros and the cons of both and like talk about those and just get your guys' thoughts on it and what you prefer. I know that Juliette has flown, but she also has family who lives close, so she probably has
Yeah.
ridden with family too.
Oh
So I'm
yeah.
sure she could give insight to both of those options as well. And so yeah, just kind of talk about it. And so first let's talk about flying and the pros of flying. On here I have saves a ton of time, especially for longer distances, like for Juliet. How long would it take you to get there?
Driving or flying?
Driving.
Oh, it'd probably take 5 days, like broken up. Too
Yeah.
long.
Yeah.
I think my
And
mom and my sister did it in like 3 days, but they were switching off and just like continually driving.
Well, that's
So
really hard too for someone
yeah.
who has like limited time off.
hmm
Like, I mean,
Mhm.
Right.
very small time in the actual
Yeah.
vacation part. You're spending most of your time
hmm
driving, and that's exhausting.
Yeah.
yeah. So
I
it does
I
save a
would not
ton of
want to
time.
do that. It
Yeah.
does,
Yeah.
yeah. Flying definitely.
Yeah.
I
Even for
mean,
us.
Well, yeah, for us too. I mean, it's that 8 hour drive, 8.5 hour drive. I think this is what we
that's like
normally
one
can
day
make it.
versus 3 or
Yeah.
4.
But, Bella was even saying, because we've got a trip coming up, and she was, Disney's a long drive. That's what she keeps saying. And I
hmm
was like, it is a long drive, and it would be so much faster to fly. But I feel like there are still many more pros with
Yeah, having a
driving,
car.
at least for our family, versus flying.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, like me, I go. Yeah, my family lives over there, but
Yeah.
like over spring break, I did a solo trip and it was fine to fly because I
Mhm.
could do what I wanted when I
Right.
wanted and
Right.
Yeah.
as much or as little as I wanted to do.
Right.
I
And I
didn't
do
have
have
to
to
wait for
say,
them to get the kids ready or
yeah,
Right.
and I do have to say, like, driving, we used to drive as a family when we were younger. We fly now because of other reasons, but when we drove, I just have a lot of memories of like what we would see when driving.
yeah,
Like, oh, we're across the Georgia state line. We're getting close. Like
yeah.
Yeah.
you have a lot more
Right.
Oh yeah,
memories
when
when
I
you
was little, we would
drive.
drive to Disneyland all the
Hmm.
time because it's,
Yeah.
8
Yeah.
hours from here to there
Yeah.
and oh, we're at the windmills, that means we're like 2 hours away.
Hmm. Yeah.
Or
Right.
oh, I just passed that bridge, now I'm like 45 minutes away, you
Yeah, and I
Yeah.
don't think
kind of
you get as
remember
many
things.
memories
So
flying as you do
yeah.
with driving.
I think
And
I've
you
Yeah.
get as
seen
many
that cloud
snacks.
before.
Right. But it is cool
Look,
if
water.
you're
Like,
flying in, you can sometimes catch the parks from the sky. That's
yeah.
pretty cool.
Oh,
Mhm.
yeah.
I
That's
mean,
only like the
Yeah.
That is
last
fun.
I've
5
got some
minutes of the
neat.
flight. That's the only problem.
All
But
right.
if you time it right at nighttime, you can catch the fireworks,
Yeah,
which
I
is
saw
That's
them one
cool.
time. It was
so
really cool.
Noah, you
Wait,
said that, for your family, it's more beneficial now. So, like, what are some perks that you all have found with flying over driving?
Well, so like first of all, it's really fast. Like a
Yeah.
flight, you're only in the
mhm.
air for like an hour, hour and a half. So that's nice. It's also a lot easier if you are, let's say, a tin man. It's a lot easier to be in a plane for like an hour or two than to
Yeah,
be
Yeah.
sitting in a car for 9
Right.
hours.
Sure.
Yeah, but there's also a lot of bad sides because the money you're spending on a plane ticket could be used for merchandise. You know,
Ah.
like that's
Or
where I'm
hotel,
thinking.
or
But
Yeah.
you also don't get
Right.
as much space in your luggage for merchandise. A lot of my downsides are
No,
about
that's why
merchandise. I'm
you pack a
realizing.
bag in a bag.
Well, you guys are kind of getting into the cons a little bit of flying. And so
Yeah.
there's a lot of cons to flying. So the pros were saves a ton of time, much less exhausting. You arrive ready to enjoy the parks a little bit more when you get there, and then easier access to vacation packages and other things. But the cons of flying are a lot. There's a lot of them too. So the stress of the airport. I don't know if you've ever gone through security with kids.
Oh, that's
but
awful.
going
I've
through
gone through
security,
security with Cindy Smith before.
Have you ever gone through security with elderly people?
Well, that was a part of our crew, so
Let me tell you,
So,
worse
yeah.
than kids.
Oh, we're seasoned pros over here now. We have to be.
There's also the potential of delays or flight cancellations,
Yeah.
so you don't have a lot of that with driving.
Yep.
The baggage fees and restrictions, like Noah was talking
Yeah.
about just a moment ago. The need for transportation once you land in Orlando. And then there's less flexibility if plans happen to change because of flight changes and
Mhm.
different things like that. Or like in Noah's case, when they were there in January and the snow hit here in Charlotte, and so they had to like adjust flights and stay an extra night and pay for an extra a day at a hotel. And so there's a lot of like less flexibility when it comes to flying, that you're just kind of restricted a little bit when it comes to some of that stuff. So let's talk about
Yeah.
some of those cons of flying in general. What do you guys think? What have your experiences been with some of those cons?
It's such a hassle, like mentally, to get onto the plane because you have to get
Well, and
on.
then
You have
if
to
you
park your car. You have to get on like the little bus thing to take you to the airport. You get
or
your
find
luggage.
someone to take you.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then you're trying to travel with like 5 bags through this crowded airport with the security, and then getting your bags on the right plane. Then you have to go to security and take all the things with batteries out, but not the small things with batteries. Those are okay, but then you gotta make sure about your toothpaste and it's the right size. And then they yell at you for no reason. Then your bag's overweight because you bought too much Mickey Mouse, and then it's a whole thing.
And then the like price of the airport food, like
Oh yeah.
Oh, I don't
bring my
worry
own
about
food.
that. I'm
I
cool.
know you don't worry about that, but like, I mean, sometimes
is
it's a little
ridiculous.
ridiculous. I mean,
Mhm.
I flew
Yeah.
a lot for college cross country, and so I would try to find either red eyes or really early morning
Yeah.
flights, and I didn't have a choice. I had to eat at the airport, and I was like
Yeah.
spending a ridiculous amount of money. I mean, I try to avoid it now, but it's like kind of goes back to we could be using this money for other things, you know, or if you're driving, you can just stop at the
Right.
local Chick-fil-A and
Mhm.
just get your normal meal.
Fun fact: in our
But
airport,
like
it's
for
only
us,
it's the only place that has the spicy Bojangles biscuit with like the
Oh,
spicy
didn't know
chicken.
that.
So keep that in mind,
I'll
guys.
say like in my perspective, I have to just tie that into everything with my vacation because
Yeah,
I live in the Southwest and there's nothing around me.
Mm-hmm.
right.
yeah,
So I
Right.
have to fly somewhere if I want to go somewhere fun, you know.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't know. Sometimes, let's see. We went on a cruise in April and we stopped at McDonald's out of the airport and brought it through security with us. We didn't bring like a drink or anything, but you can bring food through.
Oh,
We had no
nice.
problems with that. So,
Oh,
and then you can bring frozen things. So sometimes we'll like freeze water bottles a couple of nights ahead and bring those in our carry-on bag so we have water. But as long as it's
yeah.
frozen solid, you're fine. Like
Hmm.
Interesting. I
I
didn't
didn't
know
know
that.
that.
I've never had issues with it. So
Yeah. I always just brought an empty water bottle and then just filled it
oh
up
yeah.
when I got there, or
Yeah.
just
But
bought
then
a water
sometimes
bottle.
like if we get in too late at night, like there's a 10 o'clock that would get into Orlando at like 10, that's too late to go anywhere to get
Right.
Yeah.
water, you know, at your hotel.
Right.
It's gonna be an hour before you get to anywhere
Right.
near Disney.
Right.
Or even more depending on how you're getting there. Sometimes we do the Mirrors Connect. I've had good luck with that where you just leave right away, but I've also
Yeah.
had the time where you're just sitting there for an hour and a half and you're just like, "Oh my gosh, I could have Ubered." Or I
Right.
could
Yeah.
have
We have
rented a car.
Huawei. We have
Right.
Huawei that comes and picks us up.
A driver.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's the
I
same
mean,
guy. His name's
RJ and I
Huawei.
have used mirrors. I have never had to wait a long time. I've heard horror stories of
Yeah.
people having to wait for
I
mirrors
think the
at
most I've
airports.
ever waited for that was like
But
an hour, but
yeah,
that was because it was a stupid time in the day, in the morning or at
yeah,
night.
yeah,
Like they're not going to run every
Mm-hmm.
30 minutes if you're there at 4 in the morning.
yeah.
Right.
And that, you bring up another good point. When we think it's shorter to fly, okay, this might not be the case for you, Juliette, because of your location from
Right.
like Arizona to Florida. But for us, we're in the air for maybe 2 hours.
Yeah.
And we're like, oh, that's so much shorter than 8 hours.
Yeah,
But we're
but
not
then you're
thinking
getting to
about
the airport
that you have to get there 3 hours
2
early,
hours
at
ahead
least
of
in
time.
Charlotte. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, you could be waiting on
Or
mirrors
backwards on the
forever.
way.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Right.
TSA for NCO is nuts.
It's awful.
So I
Absolutely
recommend
awful.
having pre-check for that.
Yeah.
It's worth it
Yeah.
if you go.
So in the long run, like, all the events that lead up to getting on the actual plane almost kind of equal out, at least for us on this
At least for
side.
you
I mean,
guys,
it's
yeah.
like we're about the same amount of time there. So
Right.
Mhm.
Maybe was your Mirrors Bus Connect system bus ride as dramatic as the one we were on? Because we had the one with all the like cheerleaders on it, and there was a lot of drama.
No.
Someone
See,
was
I'm strategic when I go to Disney. I make sure I don't go during the cheerleading season.
Oh, my
I think we do it on
goodness.
Brazilian
purpose
tour guide
now.
season.
They always say it's not
Oh,
on purpose,
yes.
but I think we do it on purpose now, just so we can hear all the drama.
Oh,
It's
my
like,
goodness.
like you're in a queue, you're like, who said what? Like, did Andrea say? It was so funny.
But
Someone has a
speaking of
dog
trans-
face. I don't remember who it was.
Speaking of transportation, I just want to talk about how expensive it can be. So right now, Mears Connect shuttle is about $16 to $18 per adult, $13 to $14 per child, and that's
That's
for
one way, I think.
one-way trip.
Yeah.
Yeah. For a family of 4, a round trip is often $120 to $160
Yeah.
just to go on a Mears
We need
Connect.
to petition for them to bring back the Magical Express.
For real.
Because that was, in my
Yes.
We have
opinion,
Josh tomorrow
the
now, not
stupidest
Bob
thing they've done in a
Paycheck.
while.
Bob Chapek is
Yeah.
gone. Tomorrow is here.
Uh-huh.
I think he will save the day. He says he wants to
Maybe
bring
it'll
back the
come back.
Disney stores, and I really hope he does.
Yeah. Well,
For
like Magical Express was just perfect. You just they
Yeah.
collect your bag for you. You didn't
Mhm.
even have to look at it if you put your luggage tag on it. Then
Right.
you didn't see it until you were in your room 5 hours later after the park,
Right.
you know.
Mhm.
Right.
Yep.
The other thing is if you wanted to do a ride share, it's $80 to $200. That's one
Oh
way.
yeah. Yep.
You get a rental car that's $50 to $120 a day, and
And then you have to
then when
factor in your tolls
right,
and
and
gas.
then
So
and then sometimes like I know if you're staying in a Disney hotel, you don't have to pay for parking, but if you're staying outside
right.
of Disney World, then you do have to pay for parking, and we'll talk about that a little bit more with the driving
Yeah.
aspect of it. But yeah, so there's that as well, and then packing is just so much different. Let's just get into the car portion
I'm
of it.
sorry, I have to bring attention to the cat.
Wait, with
What
the
is your
curtains in the background.
I'm afraid your curtains are gonna come
Aw.
down.
Yeah. This is Minerva McGonagall. Like in Harry Potter.
Oh,
That's
Come on.
amazing.
it was so
Stop
funny.
it.
RJ, I mean, Noah and I made eye contact, like we were watching the cat at the same time, and then like your cat turned and looked at us, and we're like, "Oh no,
She knows
We
you're
know.
she
watching.
knows." Minerva.
Aw, Minerva.
Aw.
You're famous.
I want a cat. I'm going to name him Darth
Go
Vader. He's
enjoy
going to be a
the.
tuxedo cat.
Oh, there
That
you
is
go.
a terrible cat name.
I can call him Little Annie.
Okay,
I have a.
Oh
Let
my
me.
word.
I know it's way off topic. I'll show you in a minute. I'll look for the
Okay.
picture. Hold on.
I want
Keep
my
going.
parents to get a dog and name him Obi-Wan, and then place Little Annie at the bottom of the stairs, and wait, no. Yeah, and Obi-Wan at the top of
Noah,
the stairs.
You had a dog named Obi.
No, but Obi-Wan. This is different. Okay. A
Okay.
little different.
So
Name
this
the
is
dog.
our other cat. We have 5 cats.
Oh.
This
I
is
want
our fat
one.
Bubba guy. His name is Miko because he looks like the raccoon from Pocahontas,
Miko.
right?
You want to be my friend
Yes.
He
Miko?
sits. He sits on the couch like a little old man.
Oh my goodness. Look
Aww. Cats have such
That is
little thought of the
Okay,
world.
sorry.
I love them.
All right,
No,
so
it was
let's
I
talk
brought
about.
attention to her because I was like, those curtains are coming down right here on the
Right.
podcast.
And then
She's
I looked
trying to
at
get in the
Jesslyn, and
window.
Jesslyn was like, "Nope."
She's like, I know you're talking about me. I'm gonna go interrupt you now.
That's funny.
Aww.
Aw.
All right, let's talk about driving now. So
Or just
for
like enough of the cats.
For driving,
He's a
there's a
cat
lot of
hater.
pros to driving. So you get total control over your schedule and your stops. Here's a big one for me. It's you can pack whatever you want to that will fit inside of your car.
Or whatever other people buy that can fit in your car.
That has definitely worked
That
out
is
for you,
true.
Noah.
That is very well. Yeah, that it
Yes.
has.
So
One
another
of the
thing that
things
we
that I was
we
gonna
do
say.
is
Go ahead.
the Sam's Club orders. Jesslyn's like
Yes.
on a roll for interrupting.
I'm
No, one of the great things that we could do is we can grocery shop ahead of time as well for our on property stays, and then also there's no hassle of the airports for that. So let's talk about the pros of driving, and then we'll talk about the cons of what it's like to drive. What are your thoughts?
It definitely takes longer. And that's really the main drawback, I think, is that it just takes forever depending on where you are. Like for us, it's 8 to 9 hours if you put the pedal to the metal. But, plane flight's only like 2 hours. But then you have to factor in security, luggage, hassling old people and or children around, or both in
Yeah.
my case.
I'll say I think you have to like take into account who's driving too. Like
Yeah,
if you're
it's
younger,
RJ,
you're
it's
gonna
take forever.
go faster, but like if you're older, like my mom, she's not
Yeah.
gonna want to sit in the car for 12 hours and drive
Mhm.
somewhere.
Yeah.
She'd
Yeah.
rather just
Right.
I'm gonna pay extra and go on the plane.
I know, like for us, like a big thing is just Bella herself comes with a lot of stuff. So
Yeah.
we don't have to be stressed about meeting luggage weights and things like that. We can pack as many bags as we want to without any additional fees. And we can just, be set and be comfortable in a place that we're
Right.
comfortable in. And
Right.
another
You don't have
thing
to
for
get used
me
to a new
is
car and
yeah, exactly. I think another thing for me is I don't handle situations that I have very little control over well. And so like with flights, before we fly, I always get a little anxious, like what if something I mean, I know that can happen with driving too, but what if the flights get canceled, or what if we get delayed, or what if, and I just feel like especially I think back with our trip in January, because we
snow.
drove with the snow, we were able to
beat it
control
almost.
getting
Yeah.
home. Yeah. So that aspect I enjoy too.
I was fine. I got to stay at Disney World for another day, so
I know.
There you
But we
go.
also didn't have to pay for another day in a hotel at Disney World. So
Yeah.
I didn't either. I paid $10 for another ticket.
hey.
There are a lot of cons to driving too. We've been talking about a lot of the cons to to flying, but there are cons to driving as well. And there are pros, sure, but long travel times, like in Juliette's case,
Traffic.
you would take
Traffic.
3
Traffic.
to 5 days to drive from the
Yeah.
West Coast. I know that Jesslyn doesn't drive and Noah doesn't drive to get there. Like I drive when we're going, when Jesslyn and I, and Noah, your family is driven. But for me, it is a exhausting
It's
thing.
exhausting, I'm sure.
Like it
It's like mentally
will
taxing.
wear me out. Yeah, it'll wear me out that day, but it'll also like I will still be tired the next day. So like your first day jumping into the park where you should be excited, energetic, ready to go, I'm like, oh, I'm so tired from driving the previous
Whereas like
day.
if you're flying in, you might have a little jet lag depending on where you're coming from, but I adjust really fast. But like I can jump in and go, okay, I'm gonna go to the parks now. I don't feel that exhaustion as much. Now, if I'm
Right.
stuck in an airport all day because of a delay, then I'm going to be more exhausted.
Mhm.
But
And that's what we've had to consider too. Like one time we had to wait until we got off work and then drove
yeah,
from like we got off work at like noon and we drove from 12 to 9 o'clock at night and got
yeah,
in, unloaded our stuff, and it was just exhausting. And then that was a split stay trip. So we ended up getting in at
hmm
9 o'clock at night. We ended up unloading our stuff for just that night. And then we had to go and unload it all over again the next day at the next hotel. And so that's just kind
you
of
should have
like,
made Disney transfer it.
well, we do like an overnight bag just for that one night. So we
Oh, yeah,
don't have to like
Just like a
unpack
backpack.
fair.
everything. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's like a duffel bag for all three of us. But
yeah,
we can do that. We can have a duffel bag for all three of us for the one
right.
night. We can have our suitcases for the whole week because of the car.
Yeah,
So there's a lot of pros, there's a lot of cons, but overall there's pros and cons of both flying and driving. There the driving pros to me far outweighs the cons, especially when it comes to packing food, when it comes to not having any packing restrictions, when it comes to freedom while you're there to be able to do what you want to do and not have to rely
yeah.
on Disney transportation,
Mhm.
other things. So let's talk about the differences now between the two. I know we've kind of mentioned a few of them sometimes, but like one of the things I've talked to Carissa about this week was like if you go to another hotel and we're driving, we get to just hop in our car and just go pop into a different hotel and say, "Hey, can we go grab some beignets?" And they're like, "Yeah, go for it," you know. But
Yeah,
with
lately they've been saying no to that. So you
oh,
Oh,
can't even
really?
really?
like unless they're staying. Yeah, lately they've been
Interesting.
really strict on it.
Huh.
I also think
Oh,
it's
yeah.
depending on the time of year. Like I know spring
Oh,
break's a
yeah.
big one.
Yeah.
Like obviously you couldn't go park at the Poly and go there and then go to Magic Kingdom afterwards type of thing. Um, but I mean, there's ways to get to different hotels. I've done it.
Yeah, but like
Beach
talk
resort
about
hop.
that. What are those ways to
Uh,
get to the hotels?
yeah. Well, if you're staying at a Disney hotel and you want to go somewhere else, you either have to one, go to Disney Springs and catch the next bus, or two, you go to a park and catch that resort bus.
Mhm.
So, I mean, you're going to be waiting. It's going to take
Mhm.
Yeah.
longer, but you know,
But a lot of times you can also work that
it
in
is
with
what
like
it
a
is.
park day where like you go to a
Oh
park and
yeah,
then that night you go to a different
yeah,
hotel and they'll already have your
hmm
luggage in your room hopefully at that point.
yep.
So that's an easier
Hopefully,
way to do it instead of
Jesselyn,
just like
yeah.
which do you
going.
prefer?
Right. What'd you
I
say?
What?
prefer the second, but
I said, Jesselyn, which do you prefer?
For what?
She
For
was
what?
zoning out between the driving and the like when it comes to like when you have the car, the freedom of having the car versus the freedom of like or like staying at a Disney resort and taking a resort bus to get to and from like so getting from like we've had experience with Run Disney events where we had to get there at 3 o'clock in the morning and stuff and then you have to take the resort bus back or like going to Disney Springs and then going to another hotel. It just kind of adds to the pain of it a little bit,
Yeah,
I think.
I'm not one that is against Disney buses because I just think it's a part of the experience and I'm there
hmm
for that. Like
And
I
it's a perk.
love ride. Yeah, it's
mhm.
a
Yeah.
perk. And
You're in the
I
Disney
love
bubble. You might as well use it.
exactly. Yeah,
And it's
and
free
it's
for now,
free.
so hopefully they don't
Right.
treat you. I mean,
Right,
Mhm.
it's saving you
exactly.
gas,
Yeah.
you know.
So I have no issue and if like if okay, let's say beignets were on the table, right? We wanted to get beignets, but we didn't drive. I would probably honestly go to Disney Springs and ride the boat from Disney Springs
Yeah.
to French Quarter or you know Riverside whatever and then go that direction. I think I don't think it's exhausting either other way. I'm fine either other. I mean, it is nice to just hop in your car and get to go where you want. But
Mhm.
there is always that possibility that they're not letting visitors drive in.
Right.
And so you play that chance but
Yeah.
with Disney transportation you're not playing that chance. They're going to let you
Mhm.
in.
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know that I mean, I have no issues with buses. I've made that very clear on the podcast.
Yeah. I love buses,
I
man.
I love the buses. I think it's a part of the experience. So yeah,
The
I'm cool
only
with
good
it.
thing about staying at Art of Animation this year is I might be able to ride on the accordion bus, and I want to ride on an
Hey,
accordion
Those are
bus.
we got
scary.
on one of those.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
They're scary.
I want to
when
try
we
one.
stayed at
I think
Pop.
I think
Yeah,
I've
the
only done
value
one
resorts
time.
have them.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
Ye-
will say, so I like to do like a breakfast at like a different hotel if I'm staying on property, because the same food court
Mm-hmm.
stuff is like boring after a while. Sometimes that's a pain to get to the other
Yeah.
hotel in time.
Mhm.
So usually in that case, I take an Uber.
The
And
Polynesian has the best breakfast. That's the one cafeteria.
have you ever
Everything's good.
had the breakfast at Ale and Compass at
Mm-mm.
the yacht club?
No.
So good. They have
Is
a
it?
black forest cherry waffle.
Ooh.
So good.
Mm,
So good. I recommend it.
that does sound good.
we always try to try new things. This time we're trying sci-fi because we've never done it, and we heard that the menu changed, so it's a lot better
Sci-fi
now
is so
from what
cool.
I understand.
I did it
And then-
during May the 4th when they're doing May the 4th
Nice.
weekends. It was so cool.
Yeah.
I got to meet Greedo and Boba Fett and Darth Vader. It was
Yep.
so
And
cool.
then
I know
we're
these
also
names.
They should
trying.
bring Star Wars weekends back. That's what
They were
should do.
so
Yeah.
They need to bring
awesome,
those back.
man.
What's the other one we're trying? Oh, 1900 Park Fair.
No.
Mm.
No,
Crystal Palace.
Crystal Palace.
Crystal
Oh,
Palace.
when are you going for Crystal Palace? Like breakfast or lunch?
For
Breakfast.
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 Okay. What time is your reservation?
Like
Weird, I know.
9
9 a.m.
9
Okay.
a.m. I think.
So
Yeah.
I went over spring break and mine was at like 9:30, whatever. They say they give you like an hour to eat. No, they don't care. At
Yeah,
like
right.
10:30, 10:45, they switch half the buffet over to lunch, and then half the buffet is still breakfast. And they have
Oh.
churro Mickey waffles.
Yes, that's why we're going. It's for the
Yeah.
churro
And they
Mickey
have
waffles.
ice cream, like soft
Uh-huh.
serve. Dip the waffles in the vanilla ice cream. You'll thank me later.
Ooh, sounds good.
Yes, I'm excited. This is our first time there, so I'm excited for that one.
It's
One time
cool.
when I stayed at Crystal Palace, our reservation was like 7 or 8:30 or something, and when we got out, Big Thunder Mountain was open, so we rode Big Thunder Mountain like
nice.
5 times, and we just kept going around because there was no one in the park, but the rides were open. It was amazing. I
Yeah, that
still
probably
remember
doesn't
that
happen
day.
anymore, but
No, probably not. But I did it,
Well,
and
it
that's
just
what
reopened,
matters.
so
It did.
I know.
I'm excited. There's gonna be so much open when we go.
Yeah.
Same.
Yeah, it's gonna be
Samesies.
awesome.
about time.
All right.
Yeah.
One of the
Yeah,
other things
you're-
is talking about driving. We're with driving is number one. If you're staying off property, then you have to pay for parking when you go into the parks. If you are staying on property, you don't have to pay for parking because that's included in the resort price. Or if you have an annual pass, you don't have to pay for parking. But a lot of people, and I don't get why, but a lot of people do it. They'll go and they'll stay at a hotel or an Airbnb or their timeshare
They
off
think it's
property.
saving money.
Yeah, and
Not
I
really.
know
It's
that
really
that
not.
line blows
That,
my
like-
mind. They're like,
Yeah.
I'm saving money. I'm like, no,
Okay.
you're not. Do you know you have to pay $20 a day to
Right.
park? Like, you're not
Mhm.
Yeah.
saving money.
So, like, the
Mhm.
very first time my whole family and I went to Disney World, it was like 2009. So it was like a bajillion years ago, right? We had no idea what we were doing. We were going in before a cruise and we booked the cheapest hotel off property. And then it was such a hassle to get onto property, find
Yeah.
your parking stuff. And now we just
Yeah.
like, it's worth it to just stay on site. Even if you do one of the Disney Spring hotels.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
still give you
Yeah.
transportation there.
The
But
transportation is just
still,
so
it's
hard
like-
if you stay off site.
yeah,
Yeah.
it really is.
And that is a major perk. That transportation, those buses or whatever, that's a huge perk of staying
Yeah.
on property.
And
Skyliner,
sometimes
monorail, yeah.
monorails and
Yeah.
boats.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's funny
Yeah.
because I mean, people always ask me, "Why do you like to stay on property so much?" My first answer is always
The
transportation.
convenience factor
And I know
of
they're,
it.
but then
yeah.
they're like, "Yeah, well, I can drive." I'm like, "No, you don't understand. Like, they're
Right.
giving you transportation, and they're driving you up to the doors of
Yeah.
the park.
Literally.
Like, what
When
is
we
wrong
go with
with
my
you?"
sister and her family, they live like 30 minutes from the parks, which is fine, whatever. It's 30 minutes there, 30 minutes back. But then, like, say we're going to Magic Kingdom, you're parking in the Magic Kingdom parking lot at the Transportation Ticket Center. It's
Right.
gonna take you an hour minimally to get from there, depending on the day, to inside the park.
Yeah, you
Whereas
keep
if
I'd
you're
still
staying on
rather do
site
that
and you're
over
taking
riding
Nope.
a bus.
Keep going, Juliet.
No.
Keep going.
No,
I
yeah.
would rather go to
If you're
TTC
going on the
over
bus,
riding a
except for one
bus.
unbeliever,
I
okay?
hate riding
Go
Disney
away,
buses.
shoot.
They are the worst in the world. I'd
But the
rather
Well,
drive.
then
music,
maybe you just
the
don't have
bus
my luck.
music.
No,
haven't-
I would rather take an hour at the TTC over riding a bus from the hotel.
Oh
No,
my
see,
word.
that is
that's
such a hot
wasted
take.
heart time.
That
is
is,
wasted
yeah,
heart
That
time.
is the hottest
especially like
take.
early in the morning
Ugh.
when like there's less crowds. You want to go right away. You want to get into the park. I don't want to be walking through the stupid
The mo-
parking lot for an
Yes.
The
hour.
monorail.
Exactly.
You
Yes.
don't
And then
have
I'm
to do
hero
that.
Or
3.
taking
Like,
the
okay,
tram
I know,
and
right?
unloading
Am
the
I villains or
stroller
am I heroes? You know?
yeah,
right?
exactly. Call it
Where's
villains
my
because that's
car?
what we like. But
But like,
The
okay,
last time we went
you
to Animal Kingdom, we drove, right? Because my sister's there. We lost the car in the parking lot because we didn't remember where we parked.
you don't use the
Her
app.
husband didn't have, huh?
You don't use
Oh
the
no,
app.
I used it, but that time I didn't because I was already at the park. But they weren't. They didn't know where they parked.
Oh,
They spent
oh.
an hour and a half looking for their car.
no
And I'm like,
way.
you guys have a space car. It has all the bells and whistles. Why doesn't your car tell you where you parked it?
Yeah,
Mine
Yes.
does,
for
and
real.
it's not even a space car.
The
Yeah.
other thing that you. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Well, I was just going to reiterate that RJ and I have this agreement because of the first time that we drove to Magic Kingdom. In my brain, it was just a horror show, like top 5 horror movies in my head was that moment right there. And we just have this agreement that he can, if he wants to drive to Magic Kingdom, he can, and he is welcome to, but Bella and I will be
I'm gonna
taking the
take a
bus.
bus. Yeah.
Okay,
It's
you guys
just
talk about it.
faster.
The TTC is not as bad. If you ride the monorail, it is bad. If you ride the ferry boat, it's like instant. You get on the ferry
Yeah,
boat,
you
you're
ferry
on there
boat.
for maybe like 10 minutes, and then you're
Yeah,
at
but
the
like
park.
I could just ride the Disney bus and get dropped
Mhm.
off 50 feet
At
from
the
the
door.
security
Yep.
line, and I'm in the
Right.
gate.
But you've already
Right.
gone through the security line. It's not that bad.
Unless you're
Okay.
at the
We should-
Polynesian and you go
we
in a
through
should talk
way,
about
but
the
security
like
next thing.
still.
and enter into the gates with the passing security.
I love the TTC and I love driving, but I hate Disney buses.
Only
But
thing
I know
good
that
about driving
I'm
is you
not.
get to ride the tram. I love me a good tram ride, okay?
Yeah,
I
the
wish
tram
that-
is fun.
I love riding the tram. It's my favorite.
Jesslyn hates the tram.
Okay,
It's her
Jesslyn,
least
you and I
favorite.
need to go to the park together. At least
Yes,
once.
exactly.
No, I don't
Yes.
want to drive. I just want to ride the tram, okay? That's all I
No.
want.
Okay, well leave
You
Noah
gotta
in the parking
Fight
lot.
people for it. You got to get a stroller in this like little space that your knees can even fit in.
You gotta unpack your whole stroller to
I
get
like the
on
little
Yes.
humps
the
they do
tram.
to say they're clear.
Yeah.
Driver all clear. And then it's just I love
I
Alright,
mean, you could
another
just stand
thing
there and listen to it.
I would.
So another thing to consider when you're talking about flying in and not doing like a Mears transportation is the fact that if you have younger kids, you're going to also have to get a car with a car seat, rent a car seat, or get one of those inflatable car seat or booster seats, just depending on the age of your kid. So there is that challenge of Mears, you don't have to worry about that. But if you're getting like a ride
Yeah.
share or something else,
Mhm.
you have to follow the laws, and there's no ability to just like go and like you either have to bring that on the airplane with you, so now you're lugging a stroller and a car seat onto the
Yeah.
airplane with you, and that's just an
But
absolute pain.
you don't have to pay for your car seat or a booster seat on a plane. It's a free item. So
Right. No, yeah,
I've
that's
seen
true.
like those like the car seat covers that like enclose your whole car seat in a bag. I've seen
Yeah.
people stuff those full of like diapers and wipes and like things you obviously
Oh,
don't
yeah, that's
care
smart.
too much about.
Mhm.
And
Right.
you just shove it in there. Like
That's
Right.
nice.
like
No,
That is
that's a good
smart.
perk for
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
airlines, but as far as
Yeah.
it as far as like, okay, you can't
The
just like
logistics of it.
you can't just throw it in with your check bag when you're checking in. You literally have to carry that thing through the airport with you.
You can gate check
From
it
my
too,
experience,
but you can also
can
I feel like you should be able to check it at the ticket counter.
Mm-hmm.
I've
I don't
tried
know. I
to.
don't have kids,
They
so I
wouldn't
don't
let
know.
us do that, or they wouldn't let. I remember one time looking into that, and they wouldn't. You have to do it at the gate. It wasn't at the.
Mm.
Maybe I'm
Mm.
not correct in that. Juliet can
I'll ask my
let us
mom.
know. Yeah, but
Let me
last time,
text her. Mom, come
um,
here.
um, her mom works for the airline, so that's why she would know. She's
Oh.
done it for years. But for
Yeah.
us, yeah, for
What am I
logging
asking her? Can you check a cart where? Can you gate check?
at
No,
the
not ticket counter.
Not yeah, ticket
Can you?
counter, check, a car seat, because, like, with strollers, you have to take them with you through security,
Right.
and then you have to take them through the airport, and then you have to gate check them. So, I
Okay.
think
We'll
it's the
see if
same
she
with car
answers. She's
seats,
down the
is that
hall,
you
so
because I've seen every time I go on an airplane, you
I've
see
seen
the
it
car
both
seats and the
ways. Yeah.
strollers at the gate, and so that's kind of why I was like, it can be annoying, and then when you get there,
Oh,
you have to
I
take all
have an
that out.
answer.
Oh, yes.
I said, can you check a car seat at the ticket counter? She says, yes.
Oh, okay.
So hold
Well,
on.
that makes it a
She's
lot
typing.
easier. Oh.
And she says, and it's free if the kid's there with you. So bring your kid with you.
So bring a kid, whether you have one or not. That's besides the
Right.
point. Just find
This is
one.
my
Your
child.
own
That
kid,
one's
Noah,
mine.
your own.
See, that one over there that's with that family, that one's actually mine. So
Well, that's still convenient, but
Um,
even with the stroller, you have to gate check too, so
yeah.
that can be a
I
little
will say,
iffy.
I forgot to mention, a lot of airlines have credit cards, with them. So,
Mhm.
for example, I have the American Airlines credit card. That gives you a free checked bag for you and anybody who's attached to your reservation. So,
Hmm.
I
Oh,
mean,
yeah.
that saves you $50 right there. So, if you're
Yeah,
flying and you have to fly, attach yourself to that person, and there you go.
right. And I was
So,
gonna say earlier when we were talking about flying, one of the perks is, and I can't remember if we already mentioned it, is if you do have, like, if you had a miles credit card, right?
yeah.
Like, flying is a good option because you probably
Hmm.
it can be cheaper. Um,
Yeah. And you
we
accumulate your
do
miles,
not,
which
right? Yeah.
then
So we just,
Mhm.
gets
that's
you
just
free
not
plane
something that's
tickets,
been paying
basically.
for us. Right. Right.
A lot of people do that through, like, their business and stuff, and then they get the miles that they can
Mhm.
use,
Yeah.
and that's super smart, because they're getting all those
Mhm.
miles that they can use for trips, so,
That's how we flew
um,
to Japan.
nice.
Mm.
We had been saving up our miles for years, and we flew premium economy for $11.20 there and back total.
Hey.
So,
Nice.
Wow.
Okay, but half the time she gets to just fly for free anyways, so we won't.
but that time I didn't.
That time you had to pay $11, okay? You're just like
Yeah,
us.
I had to pay
You know the
$11 and all
cost.
my miles.
uh so yeah, there is some perks if, like, especially if those who work for the airlines. If I worked for the airlines, I'd be flying every time. Like, I
Mhm.
wouldn't
Oh, yeah.
even think twice
But
about it.
with that, there's a downside too because it's usually standby, so it's like a
Yeah,
gamble. If there's a space, you can go. If not, then you're waiting for the next flight.
I also
right.
love flying. It's
Um,
cool to watch the
I
plane,
don't
like, take off.
recommend doing that around Christmas.
Oh no.
I don't. Because one time I did that, like 2 years ago. I flew from here to Phoenix and then Phoenix to Philadelphia, Philadelphia to Miami, Miami to Orlando.
Oh,
It was
Wow.
we've
I
done
do not
something
recommend.
like that.
Yeah, it was wild.
We
Not the
did.
best way to go, but I do not like
Wow.
the Philadelphia airport. So I'm sorry to those of you who live there that go to that place. It is
Uh,
awful.
Yeah. Let's talk a little bit about the prices now with gas versus flying
A
in
lot.
like a family of four types thing.
A
So,
lot.
like, if you're flying from this neck of the woods, it would be about $200 to $250 in gas. If you were to drive, or I'm sorry, uh. Yes, I'm looking at my numbers and trying to figure it out. Um, Okay, for a family of 4, it would be 1,200 to 2,200 for southeast from the southeast, um, after Spirit Airlines is no longer around. From, like, Phoenix area, it's gonna be about $1,000 to $2,000 on average, plus, if you don't have the credit card, adding in baggage for each person, which can be anywhere from $50 to $100, for that. So for driving, it's gonna be from where we're at, maybe about $400. Flying is gonna be anywhere from, 1,200 to 2,200, and then if you're where Juliette's at on the West Coast in Arizona, it's gonna be anywhere from 1,500 to 3,000 for a family of 4 to fly, or to drive, and then, to fly, it's gonna be around 1,000 to 2,000, so it's actually cheaper because you have to consider hotels along the way
Yeah,
and gas that you're gonna
gas,
be paying and
tolls,
everything
whatever.
else.
Yeah,
So, for
and
driving
time.
from West Coast, it's definitely more expensive, and then driving from or flying from East Coast is definitely cheaper. So, yeah, there's definitely a big huge difference with where you're located and what you're gonna
Oh
be
yeah.
doing. If you don't have a car at the parks, there are other options. You can do
Hmm.
ride shares. We've done that in the past where we've
They have the minivans still.
yeah, minivans. You've got, like,
Minivans.
so from what I understand, Disney has a deal with Lyft, not with
Yeah,
Uber. So if you take a
right.
Lyft, it's actually cheaper, out at Disney World than if you were to take an Uber or any of the other rideshare companies. So if you're gonna do it, do Lyft. That's gonna be much cheaper. Let's see. And then depending on how many kids you have too, because look, if
Yeah,
there's 3 of us, flying is not as expensive as if there's 5 of us.
right.
So flying with 3 kids and 2 adults is gonna be like, there's no point. At that point, you might as well drive from here,
Unless you
unless you've
drive a
got,
truck
like
that gets 15 miles per gallon.
that's true. Well, either way,
I
if you're
wouldn't
driving
do
an
that.
SUV, it's still like, if you consider $200 to $400 or $400 to $800 per person to fly, I mean,
Let me see how much this would cost me real
I
quick
mean,
if I
like,
drove my truck.
granted, it's usually just myself that flies, but my sister and her kids are going to be going with us in September.
yeah,
So obviously, she has to pay for plane tickets, and we're going to pay for them because we all want to be there at the same time. Um, so like from here, it's usually like $500 to $600 round trip. And
yeah,
that's like this basic economy where there's gonna be like you have to consider that too, the different, like, ticket types. So, like, there's basic economy or the main cabin, whatever, or the fancy
yeah,
one where you get to pick your seat. You gotta think of those 2, but, I mean, for here, it's normal to pay $600 to go across the country.
yeah,
So, it's just,
Right.
okay, just gotta do it.
yeah.
Right.
And is
Right.
that for the whole family or per person?
Oh, it's per
$600.
person, so,
Yeah,
I mean, like, that'll be $1,800 for her, but,
yeah,
I mean, it is what it
I mean,
is. You gotta get
I get
there.
what you're saying, like, that's just, you have no choice from where you're at,
Right.
but still, that's a hard pill to swallow sometimes,
Yeah.
you
yeah.
know?
Well, you have
Because,
to get
Disney is already so expensive,
Right.
and
yeah,
then you're gonna add that additional fee on top
Yeah.
of that. It's
I
just
know.
hard.
So it
Yeah.
would be
Yeah.
$200 for me to go one way to drive down there.
yeah. But that's still cheaper than like $400 round trip, that
Hmm.
means.
Versus,
400
yeah.
bucks versus a plane ticket, you're looking at, and then you add in like my family of 3,
Hmm.
not just you,
Yeah.
like
Right.
the $400 versus in gas versus the um $400 per person for the
Hmm.
plane ticket round
Mhm.
trip.
So by
Yeah.
myself, it
Um
makes sense, honestly. Besides the
yeah,
luggage
to fly
Yeah.
concern.
it does.
Still
Yeah.
though,
Hmm.
absolutely, but
Hmm.
you got
Yeah,
multiple
right,
people.
right.
Yeah.
I don't. I can go whatever I want, but I don't have money.
Same.
The
Yeah.
last thing I really wanted to focus on was the fact that you can beyond just the family stuff, and like obviously if you're going with a large group of like 15, you're taking a bus or a 15 passenger van if you're doing that and you're just driving and sucking it up, because there's no way that you're
See,
gonna pay.
I would be like, "No." I'm just gonna fly. Y'all can drive. I'm gonna fly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll meet
15
you
people in
there.
a car.
Like,
No, thank you.
I'll see you in
Yeah.
3 days.
I'll meet
Yeah.
you there.
Yeah.
And beyond the energy levels and everything like that, just the perks of driving that I really think are hugely beneficial is we don't have to worry about what we're bringing as long as it fits in our
Or
Yeah.
bringing
car
back.
or
And bringing
bringing
back
back
too.
too. So like
Yeah.
for example, if I wanted to buy a lightsaber on this trip with airlines, they're super particular about lightsabers and
Mhm.
you have to check them and all this stuff. I don't
I bought a
care about
lightsaber last
that.
week.
Like I don't even have to think about that. I just put it in my car and I'm good to go. We go to Sam's Club before we come out and we buy a bunch of
Yep.
snacks and water bottles and different things like that. You can't do that. And so it's either you do a grocery order and get it delivered to your hotel room, or when you get there, you have to go and buy. We've done this before too, Jesselyn and I have, where we go to the hotel lobby and we buy one of those giant Dasani water bottles, but it's like
Yeah.
$11 and it's like, oh, that's
But you can use your annual pass discount on it.
That's
yeah, you can, but
true.
still, I mean, it's still not cheap. Like
One of the
I could buy a
cons.
whole like case of 48 waters for like
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
$8, you know,
Mhm.
like $6,
I can buy
something
a
like that.
whole 32 pack at Costco for $5. Come on.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
But even
Right.
like I'll even I have to fly. Like I'm not gonna spend
Mhm.
3 days in a car.
Right.
Sorry.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I
Right.
Yeah.
don't want to do that. Like that
Right.
just sounds absolutely miserable. So
Right.
even when I fly, I'll pack some water bottles in my carry or my checked-in bag. I'll just put them in a garbage bag and like tie it up. So at least I have the access to water when I get there.
Yeah.
But I've also had it where, I order an Amazon grocery delivery or I do what is it, garden? No, not garden grocer. Whatever the grocery guy is. I don't know what they're called, but
Yeah.
I'll
They've
do
got a few
that.
different
But
ones.
yeah, I don't remember. There's a whole bunch of them. But
Mm.
even like when I did my solo trip, I brought water and I brought snacks, but like part of the experience is eating at the park or
Mhm.
eating at
Right.
the hotel,
Right.
like I want to
Yeah.
do that. So in my head, oh, I can buy a kid's meal for breakfast because number one, I don't like breakfast. Not my thing.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But I know I'm going to be hungry and I know I'm going to be waiting in line. So I'm going to have to eat something. So I
Mhm.
order a kid's meal
Mhm.
and that's plenty of food.
Yeah,
Like,
no, the
Yeah.
kids'
I
meals are
agree.
great at
and
Disney.
honestly,
Yeah.
Disney
I
doesn't mind.
like them.
Like,
Right.
yeah. So I just have to like budget it.
Yeah.
That's what I
Right.
have to pay
Right.
for.
But
Like,
we
would I
have
like
this
to have a
one
car?
giant
Absolutely. But
con with driving that you get on flying. And you know what that is? You, whenever you're driving, you do not get to be handed a nice crisp Diet Coke by a stewardess in 30,000 feet in the air and hear everyone going and
Mhm.
then get to tell them no to the Biscoff cookie because you can't have them. That's what you're really paying for on
oh,
a
that's
plane.
sad.
Yeah, but Bella does get me having her snacks, like
Okay.
serving her snacks in the car.
Okay,
you're
so
her
Bella
flight
gets the
attendant.
experience, just you two don't.
I get that too because I'm driving.
So Justin, you really are the
I know.
one that
I'm
loses
everyone's
out on
Now you
stewardess.
gotta train
Yeah.
Bella how to do it.
I know.
She does help a little bit. She reaches around and grabs some stuff in the back sometimes. She's getting better about it as she gets older. No, I think there's a lot of perks to flying. There's a lot of perks to driving, and depending on where you live, like where Juliette lives, we'd
Honestly,
be
I
flying every
honestly
time.
think it just comes down to that. Your time,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
where you're at in the country. I
right.
mean, even if like we lived in Texas or anything, I would still probably fly, honestly.
Yeah.
Like
No,
Yep.
yeah, for sure.
anywhere not even halfway, I'd still fly because
Mhm.
Yeah.
it just makes more
I
sense
say
to
if we
me.
didn't legit live on the East Coast like we do,
Right.
Mhm.
I mean, even if we
Yeah.
lived in Virginia,
Yeah.
I mean, I think we're at our max. Like this is
Yeah.
the max. We
8,
would
9
do.
hours is
Yeah.
the max. I wouldn't go over
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
10 hours.
And you know,
When we
and
did
I've
our
been.
cruise,
Oh,
I
go
was saying,
ahead.
when we did our cruise, there was like this big weather system that in Chicago that like grounded flights like all day, and these people they had no options, so
Yeah.
they either had to not get on their cruise or they drove 15, 16 hours straight down to Fort Lauderdale,
Oh,
and
my word.
some of them made it, some of them didn't make it, but
Right.
that's why if you're going on a cruise, go at least a day ahead. Just
Yes.
Oh yeah,
so you're
get a
not stressing
hotel
out
the
about
night
that.
before,
Yeah, get a
and
hotel the night
get the
before,
shuttle. Get a
fly in
hotel
the
with the
day
shuttle.
before. Yeah,
Yeah,
Yep.
that goes
Yeah.
to the
yeah.
cruise port. But yeah,
Mhm.
no, I think this is good and helpful to get all these different perspectives and what is good for flying and driving
Yeah.
and what are the perks of each of those. And I think it's just helpful as you consider your trip, and part of your planning is how you get there. And
Yep.
in Juliette's case, you're gonna have to spend, if you're a family of 3 or 4, like $1,800, $2,000. So I can see where somebody on the West Coast would say, forget that. I'm not going to Disney World anytime soon because it's triple the price.
Yeah.
Versus for us, it's like we have an annual pass. And so it's like $1,000 for the hotel because we can usually catch
Right.
it on a good deal. And then we get
Yep.
out there and we drive out there for $400. So we're talking like $2,000 anytime we go. Where are you getting a vacation for $2,000? Like with food and
Right.
everything, you know? You're not getting that anywhere, but we have that advantage of being closer than some
Yeah.
do, and so that's
Well, that's
just
like
a
us
huge
with
perk.
Disneyland. We were gonna go over one of our breaks in February, but it was more expensive to drive to Disneyland than it was to fly. Just
Yeah.
like we ran the numbers, and it was just I don't know. There must have been a
Yeah.
convention or something.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I'd
Yeah.
rather just fly.
I know that I have and I've always been very pro driving, and I think it's just because of our life stage and also
Yeah.
where we're located. But there have been many times leading up to this trip that we're getting ready to take where I tell RJ, I'm like, can we just fly? Like, I mean,
Right.
like, can we look
Yeah.
into flights? Because I'm dreading the drive as well.
Yeah.
You know, RJ is, yeah.
That's like on the way
But
there, and you're like,
yeah.
oh, and then on the way
Mhm.
back,
Yeah.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
you see a
I
plane go
know
overhead,
it's
you're like,
what's
"Ah."
best for us, but there is that I
Yeah.
do have those moments of I
Mhm.
just want to fly. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh, and flying though for me messes with me. Like I have vertigo already, and it just makes it
Well, you
so
get
much
like
worse.
sick on the teacups, so I mean,
Yeah.
come on.
RJ
I get
gets sick standing in the ocean, so
Yeah. It's pretty
How
bad.
do you
I love
drive
flying.
then?
Well, that's the only the way I
Do you
can
have those
travel.
goggles that have like the liquid in the
No.
bottom?
No, so it's like
She get him some,
like
please.
I
I want
the
a
only
picture of
way I
that.
can ride in a car for that long is if I'm the one moving it. So I
Oh,
know, like for my like equilibrium, I know when I'm turning, and
yeah.
I can like
Right.
mentally, I'm already prepared for it and ready, so it doesn't mess with me
Yeah,
as
he
I'm
much.
like that with
talks. He's like,
flying.
Jesselyn doesn't drive. It's because we have
She
no
couldn't.
other
She
He'll
option.
be
I
would
throwing
can't
up
not.
if he
drive.
Yeah,
did.
I
yeah.
offer to drive. I love
He does.
driving, but he
Even
won't let
today,
me.
I let her drive for like on the way home, and like it messed with me to the point where I was like, I shouldn't have done this. Like I should have just
Mhm.
You should
driven.
go to the
And,
doctor. I feel that's not
well, oh
normal.
no, I have. They've diagnosed me officially with vertigo. Like I have an inner
Oh
ear
my
problem
gosh.
that causes vertigo. There's nothing they can do to fix it. So
Yeah.
it's
I
just
mean,
it's a legit thing, and like I don't want to go on Dramamine all the time or a patch because then that
Yeah.
changes who I am, and I don't like it. And
I do the
so
same thing with planes, but the pilots always tell me no, so.
you trying to drive?
But yeah, I always get sick on an airplane if I'm not driving, but I shall survive. Hey, hey.
Well, thank you again, Juliette, for joining us. I'm not even going to call you a guest anymore. You're just a regular, reoccurring
Anytime.
co-host.
co-host, and so we appreciate it, and we appreciate you joining us. If you don't already know, you can find any of our guests who have come on the podcast. You can find them on our website, carouselpod.com, and you can go to their travel pages, go to their Instagram accounts, and book through them. So with Juliette, it's Core Memory Trips, but it's also on our website. So I'm not even going to try to go into all the details. You could just look it up if you want to
On
book
our
a trip
fancy
through her.
little website.
Yeah,
That's
it's
real
awesome to
fancy.
be able to say that.
I need a
We do have our
website. You should make me one. Just kidding.
we do have our blog post up for The Mandalorian. So if you are wanting to catch up,
Get learned up.
you're only a few days behind on our blog post, which will prepare you for the Mandalorian movie on May 22nd. So definitely go and check that out under our blog post. Anyway, that's going to do it for today's episode. We really appreciate you hanging out and listening with us again this week. And now we are not going to switch to the same pre-recorded message we played last week.
Well, I hope you enjoyed our show.
Before you go, please don't forget to gather your belongings and head over to our email at carouselpod@gmail.com to ask us your questions. Oh, and wouldn't you believe it? You can now bring the magical sense of vacation right into your home. Check out the Magic Candle Company and use our exclusive link with the code CarouselPod at checkout to get 15% off your order. And don't forget, we're here to help you plan your future Disney trips. Just send us a message at rj@famvia.com. Until next time, we'll see you in a great, big, beautiful week.